Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and today I am streaming the Lord of the Rings Online. I am returning to my Fresh Start free-to-play account. I figured it's been about a month since I have played on this account, and I don't know, it's just excited me to get back to this today. So to catch everyone up who might have missed the first stream I did on this account, the idea was that I was just going to play LOTRO 1 from the fresh start perspective and starting a new account. I think there is some excitement there, but also to kind of investigate a little bit more how LOTRO might feel for a new player. I don't know how much I'll keep up with that. I called it like the new player roleplay in this part, but I intend to try to keep that perspective in mind as we go through things, because I have been and am working on, I already made one of these videos, but LOTRO reviews that are a little bit based on this experience. So what I'm curious today is if we'll run into much limitations with free-to-play and just being on a new account today, and if we do, what they will be. Because there are a lot of things I feel like I take for granted in the game that I just either have through just playing so many years or from actually being VIP subscriber and just benefits you get with that. So yeah, I'm curious what we might run into, but as far as content goes, that's actually one of the big areas where LOTRO has changed the past year or so when they did the monetization revamp and you get content up to level 95. There's tons of content we can do for free, so I don't expect to run into too many issues with that. Although I guess we'll see with skirmishes. I actually don't immediately remember how skirmishes factor into that and missions. I don't know if I'll even get to that stuff today, but I don't think there are any completely free missions yet. But yeah, as far as content goes, there's tons in Eriador. All the new zones that they have added in Eriador are not free though, so I would not have access to those. And then there's of course Rohan, Moria and Mirkwood in between Rohan, and then not Gondor. So Rohan would be where it ends, Helm's Deep, which ends at level 95. I'm sure you could get a little bit higher level if you really tried and were pretty big about getting your XP up. But anyway, to get to chat, did want to say hello to Andrew, Python Dad, Mr. Waddy the Lemon Dragon, Joshua, and Andreas. Andreas, you are wondering, yes, I am in Gondamon, and you're the win here. This is where this character started, and apparently where he left off. I kind of am remembering that. But one thing that I actually am noticing, this is a problem I always have, so it's not necessarily new to this new character, but inventory adds very limited space, and there's a lot of junk items in LOTRO. I tend to hoard items, but one thing I am wondering as a free-to-play player, if it's, let's see, do you even have access to the auction house? I think that's something we might have to investigate in this, but yeah, how to manage all of the items you get in LOTRO, because there are a ton of items, and again, a lot of them are sort of, I wouldn't call them completely junk, but almost junk-like is the way I would describe it. There are also some plain old junk items, even for tasks, like task items. Those just end up filling a lot of space in your inventory. The broken short sword here, we can see that's just vendor junk because it's a trophy, but the ones that are task items, well, the ones that have the red text for task, those ones turn in. But yeah, the only 100% pure junk items are the trophies that can be sold to, here, I'll put both of these up because they are both called trophies, but task items are the ones that have the red text. Those I typically don't bother keeping, but they can be good for reputation. So keeping a certain amount of those to turn in for tasks can always be useful. That's why they're not 100% junk. And I think in some areas in LOTRO, it's actually very valuable to turn those in, especially as new expansions, new content unlocks. And then there's a lot of crafting stuff. I would say that's where the biggest issue is with inventory with this character. I have over a row of crafting materials. If I were actually interested in crafting, then I'd probably keep anything Forester, Prospector, and Tailor related. Of course, with crafting revamps coming this year, some of that would end up changing, but I probably wouldn't do much to plan ahead with that for the purposes of this character. I didn't really plan on just analyzing my inventory to start this stream, but yeah, this just guide to the profession, pretty much destroy that. You can read it if you want, of course. And then food, like consumables, might as well keep those. Those are helpful, right? Okay, so first thing that I actually want to do, instead of just spin around in circles way too much, is see if I can travel to Kellendam. I actually don't know if I can.
I am at your service.
Not directly from here, so it would take me a minute to travel there. The only reason I want to do that is I know there's a vault keeper there, and I don't think there is one in Eriador, actually, or not Eriador, Gondamon. Yeah, there's one in Kellendam, and then of course Thorin's Hall has one as well. Okay, because I was curious about my vault access. Where is my milestone? That is okay to Kellendam. I'm going to go ahead and use my milestone to return there quickly, and we can check the vault and see what that brings. Yeah, if you don't craft, that's one of the things I am going to try to get to, is I would recommend selling stuff on the auction house if you can. Especially raw materials tend to, in my experience, do better. So that'd be like scholar stuff, hides, forester logs, and then prospector ore. Those would probably have the best chance of selling. And then the critical use items, I would, if the auction house doesn't look good for those, I'd either get like a bank alt type character that just stores your items, or see if you can put them in the vault if you really want to keep them, or just vendor them. Even with like scholar candles here, the cooking stuff, I typically just vendor those to save space. I just tend to really like to hoard items. That's why I'm hesitant to just like sell things to a vendor, but playing on this account with these restrictions might mean that I actually do have to be more willing to sell stuff to a vendor, I suppose is how I would put it. Okay, so I'm not a metalsmith, and I am not a weaponsmith, but I am a tailor, so I'll open the tailor school, learn that tailor recipe. So I have a new recipe. I guess I could try to craft that if I really wanted. The sword is actually an upgrade. I should look at my gear. That is a great way to keep your inventory up to date, is to actually equip your best gear and sell the gear you don't need. And then as far as task items, for now, I actually should save these. So where are the task boards? I'm actually not immediately familiar with where the task boards are in this zone, because I usually don't bother with it. Okay, so it is actually in Gondamon, so I'll probably do that, because that's good for reputation, which can of course help with LOTRO points, and I think that would be the main thing for a character like this, just the LOTRO points from the rep. Okay, so we will sell the candle. We'll save anything that is a task item for now. I don't know if I'll keep up with that. If we really need the inventory space, I can do that. And then don't need metalsmith stuff. Any critical ingredients for crafting, I'll go ahead and just sell. I'll keep any consumables that are useful for me. And then old gear. I'm also going to unlock... Oh yeah, raw gems are probably decent to keep as well for jewelers. But like drop of sticky resin, I'm not a woodworker, so I don't need that. Flax fibers I could keep as a tailor, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then, yeah, everything else I think would be worth keeping. The white dwarf candle, I don't really need that. It's just a cosmetic thing. And it frees up space. There we go. We have a little bit of inventory space now. Yeah, as a hoarder, I am definitely already into this. What are we, like 10 minutes into this? Already feeling the restrictions of being on free to play. But that's okay. Gotta have some benefit for paying. Like, as much as people, including me, might not want to pay for things, at some point, you have to, and it has to be worthwhile when paying for things. Okay, we'll get whatever quest that was. That seemed to just be a return quest. Do I have? Let me see if I have all my quest track. Spring Festival. Okay, that seems to just have gotten in my quest log, probably from it being the spring festival right now. Prologue, so we have all these quests. I'll probably just continue with questing at this point. I believe this character is on Langeval. I think I did Langeval because that's where I normally play, so just continue this character on the same server. Okay, so we can go to Dwilland, and then probably take another travel up to Gondamon would be the way back there. Also, glad you love the cat cam. I am actually considering moving the cat cam. Right now, she's the only cat in here, but considering moving it to... They like to lay on... Y'all might see that in videos, but like to lay on that blanket. I haven't moved it yet, but I intend to. But they just kind of claimed it as one of their spots to lay. But yeah, I was thinking about moving the cat cam to either face the couch, which is usually where a second cat would be, or there's a cat tree to the right, like off the screen, that would be a potential option as well. But yeah, the only reason I wouldn't keep it right here is because that's like double the same cat spot. Yeah, I have no idea where the other cat is, but that's okay. I really seem to enjoy playing at nighttime. Not really, but there was this streak. I feel like for a long while, there was this streak where I was playing basically solely at nighttime. I haven't noticed it quite as much lately, but I don't know, just being out during the daytime when it's bright and sunny, usually more enjoyable overall, but playing during night isn't necessarily bad. Just a bit darker. I say it's darker, and I think I actually have my ambient light turned up all the way up. I've started to play with it down just because it's a little bit more immersive. But yeah, you can actually see with the ambient light up, or you can be more immersive with it down. But while we are traveling, so I'm not just sitting here doing nothing, I am going to start a poll for you all in the chat. I am wondering which account type you all are. So there's free to play, which would be no money spent. Premium, which would be money spent but not a subscription, and the VIP would be the subscription. Okay, I added some context there. But yeah, I'm really curious what account type most people are that would, I guess, be watching this stream. I was thinking my viewership in general, but this might not be the best sample because I'm doing a free-to-play stream, so maybe we have more free-to-play people joining because of that. But yeah, I'm curious, though, if people tend to play completely free or maybe spend money but don't go with a subscription, or, yeah, have VIP. Or a lifetime subscriber. That is always a great one, Python Dad. I definitely would like to have that. I would have, and I guess still would be, saving a lot of money in the long run. If I were to start LOTRO fresh, I would honestly probably play free-to-play to level 95, unless there was a really big benefit that I found for VIP, which at this point, level 11, I've played this character, what, like 3 hours, maybe 3.5, 4? Okay, 4 hours. Probably a little bit of that AFK. But I've played him for almost 4 hours, and I haven't really felt the need to spend money. While I'm kind of getting ahead of the game, and I already organized my inventory, got rid of stuff I don't need. So being aware of what's safe to like keep, or what's safe to get rid of, and what maybe I should keep. I have some things that I know if I really need space, I can toss certain things in my inventory. Just being aware. Oh, I didn't even go to the vault. Oops. That was the whole point of going to Kellendon, was so I could go to the vault, and I never did it. Good job. Oh well, that's fine. But yeah, Anyway, at this point, 4 hours in, I have not felt the need to pay, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's getting dark here. See, I actually do like it being dark, but there's the gameplay element of wanting to be able to see. And if I were in a different mood, I might keep it dark. Also, quest-wise, I don't know that I'm necessarily interested in doing every single quest in Era of the Wind on this character. There are a couple from Gondamon that are a bit on the lower level side, which maybe are fine to skip. Like, just killing bears and wolves, I think are a couple of them. But if I run into them, I might as well go ahead and get started on that. I also don't know what spec I am. Okay, I'm blue line. Okay, so I am going to do... Oh, I have the Forester's Axe already equipped. Okay. I have not done something like this in a while, but I'm going to move my tracking and gathering stuff down here so I can more easily switch between tools and what I'm tracking. But if I can't sell on the auction house as a free-to-play player, it might not be worth my time gathering copper ore if I don't intend to play an alt and like do crafting on an alt. But I am also addicted to gathering, and if I were new into a game, I would probably make sure I do a decent bit of gathering just to have some stuff for my characters. Combat is still basically as easy as ever, I see. Being free to play doesn't really change that, which is a good thing. That would mean there would be some pay to win element at level 11. And of course, I could do even more damage if I had crafted gear, crafted weapon especially, but that stuff you can do as a free to play player even. Yeah, with the changes the changes to fall damage, they've really helped, I guess, increase the amount of parkour you can safely do in LOTRO, and not quite how far you can fall, but how you can fall and not really suffer as much damage. Okay, don't really need to go here. I'm kind of just wandering around, but I actually am making my way to where the quests are. Also, we have a new cat. She's wondering who's in her spot. They always seem to act so confused when there's when the other cat's in the bed when they want in it. I don't think I've used split shot much. Apparently it's pretty strong. I think even for a single target, if you actually had no other options, I think it's one of our stronger abilities.
What do you need?
Alright, and with this quest, I actually like to round up some of these extra dower hands just because it takes a while anyway. Might as well get more kills, get more XP while doing it. At least as much as I can on a hunter here. I do have a little bit of AoE. I don't know how my survivability is, but I think at this level, like, it shouldn't really be a problem to do this much AoE. I don't think... Oh, that split shot did hit 3 people. Wow, you already find the path at level 12? That's pretty crazy. It's actually surprising that split shot would be second hardest hitting attack for a hunter just because it's an AoE, and I don't know, it just seems a little bit out of theme for it to be second hardest hit. But we have Celebrate Spring. This is something you can do as a free-to-play player. Finish that. I could actually join the Spring Festival if I wanted, but I think I'll avoid that for this character. Oh, we can open our day. Oh, wow, my inventory. Okay, we can open our daily Hobbit gift though. Landscape Soldier token. This is something I would actually be tempted to destroy. Virtue XP, I could actually recommend hoarding those. Ooh, I have points to spend. I could recommend hoarding those and saving them until a Virtue XP boosting weekend, but on a character like this, an account like this where space is really limited, at least at the moment, I will just go ahead and use it. Multi-use items. Oh, it can be multi-use by alt-right click. It's good they tell you that. I'd probably forget that at some point, but I guess it's good they have it there. That's one thing about a game like LOTRO. I honestly don't know if there's a much better way to do it, but if you have so many things that you need, like tutorial or user tips, whatever those are called, for, probably means it's not necessarily the easiest game to quickly get into, because I at least find that a lot of that stuff basically goes in, I'll read it and be like, yeah. But when it comes time to remembering whatever it said, if it's not something that's like repeated in the game fairly frequently, I probably won't really remember it. Okay, so we got, I think, all the stuff we needed there. We could head, let me go ahead and unchart the Spring Festival, we don't need that. I think we can go ahead and continue on the path we are. It's not really important to turn in the quests, at least that I remember. Let's try that split shot on this guy. And there's a one shot. Didn't even need to split. Oh yeah, find the path. I'll go ahead and move this out of the way somewhere. I don't know, next to my stance.
Might you lend me an ear? Come and stay a moment.
But yeah, so far I kind of forgot about this, but my internet has been a bit iffy the past few days. That's one of the reasons I haven't gotten to doing a stream. I actually intended to do one last Sunday, it would have been, but never was able to do that. And then for a decent bit of Monday was mostly fine, but Tuesday and Wednesday, a decent bit of those 2 days, my internet was just completely down. So that was not ideal. And actually, when I recorded that crafting video, so if y'all have not seen, we have some details for the crafting revamp that's coming this year. I don't think it's necessarily going to all be in one update. Like, we'll see some of the stuff starting in update 35. I think one of the developers commented that they're doing a lot of behind the scenes type stuff to get ready to implement to the crafting changes. And then I suspect that we'll probably see some of the bigger changes with the expansion and the new crafting tier. But yeah, there could be some stuff between update 35 and the expansion that we'll maybe start seeing some of the changes. I forgot the point. Oh yeah, so when I recorded that video, my internet was working, but I don't even think I was getting a megabit per second speed. Yes, update 35 is expected to come Tuesday. I think that is their current estimated release date. I guess technically I should be preparing for update 35, but there's not too much for me to really do, and I am intending to have one more play session, one more stream before update 35 is the plan. Today's Friday still. It actually feels later in the, like it's already the weekend, but which technically it is kind of the weekend at this point for me, but Yeah, it kind of feels like Saturday already. Anyway, I do intend to maybe Sunday do an update 35 preparation type stream thing. The main thing really, I guess, is setting up a captain, setting up a warden, setting up Jordan more specifically, because he will probably be the primary warden that I play when the... Oh, I should start recording this. Oops. He will probably be the primary warden I play for a little while, just to ease myself into the warden update. But maybe if my kin does group content, which has been a bit inconsistent lately, partially with me, even I haven't done too much with them, but we haven't had as many events as we have in the past. It's just been a little bit less active. I don't know what's the point. Oh yeah, so if my kin does any group content or anything, especially with update 35 coming out, there should actually be, I think, a decent bit of that going on, because we'll actually have some new stuff, new exciting content, hopefully. Even with the Delvings update, I could actually see me not playing Warden as much when update 35 comes out and actually playing my high-level Warden, so I don't know. Okay, we gotta get to the missing dude. We're killing too many spiders before we even need to. Well, I guess I mean, it doesn't hurt. Actually, there's a spider deed. As a new fresh start and a free-to-play account, I would recommend doing, especially in the starter zones, like Year of the Wind, it's super easy, to do the Slayer deeds and exploration deeds. So this is a great spot for the Spider Slayer. The reason for the deeds is you do actually get the... Oh, wow. We got Charity. That's really bad. Let's go with Wit for the second one. Last I checked, Wit isn't necessarily the most efficient with stats, but in my experience, it is the most beneficial. The most efficient would be, for DPS virtues, would be Valor, because it gives physical mastery, which is the most efficient like number stat for boosting your damage in general, I should say. But the finesse is also very valuable in Wit. That said, Valor actually does give a little bit of finesse. I haven't looked at this in a while, and the numbers sometimes are different than what they are at high level. See, I'm seeing the crit is actually decent. Yeah, I'll probably go with Valor for now. That looks pretty good. Although that is a lot of finesse. Maybe I should go with my gut and stick with Wit. I'd have to look at the values at higher level to see if they actually scale properly. Which, for at least some of the virtues, the values you see, like for level 1 virtues, an easy comparison is something like honor to loyalty. I, of course, have level 6 loyalty now, so it's hard to do that comparison, but honor, fortitude are much better than loyalty at very low levels, but then by the time you get to high levels, the scaling on them is pretty poor, so loyalty is much better at higher levels, and it kind of swaps. Inventory overflow. At least they tell you about that. The good news is these items, if we can open it. Quest sharing. Okay, you can share quests. That's good to know. Where's my inventory overflow? Why can't I open it? Can you not open it as a free-to-play player? Held in a hidden overflow area. So what I'm used to is actually being able to see the overflow area. I don't know if that's a... That seems like a really random free-to-play restriction. Like when you're VIP, you can see the overflow. But when you're not, you can't. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Matt, you're talking about the Warden update. And you're 1 level away from range resounding challenge now. Yeah, I love Yellow Line Warden, but I think with the new Red Line Warden, they should be somewhat similar to the old Yellow Line. There will be some differences. I think the biggest thing is we're losing the bleed. barb javelins, which I always thought was just a fun thing for the Yellow Line Warden. And of course, seize the moment and the rapid spamming of gambits, but I suspect it won't be too bad. Like, you'll still have Resounding Challenge and Range Resounding Challenge. In fact, you'll get them at a lot lower level, which should be nice. Unless they're going against what it was like in the earlier beta rounds. But I think by level 50, it sounded like you should have every gambit. Alright, I rescued him. Maybe I should pet this cat. So let's see. I'm still adjusting to the setup. It's so weird to me having the mic on the right. It's just takes some getting used to. And yeah, Andrew, I really agree with the Runekeeper. While Redline does do more damage, it even has some decent burst damage with its opener. For landscape content, I do find Yellow Line to be a lot more fun as well. At the moment, at least. I don't know. I know I talked about this in my recent class specs video, but I just haven't felt like the Redline Runekeeper has been all that enjoyable to me since, like, it's actually been, I think the gameplay is fairly similar. They have made some changes here and there, but it's, like, overall fairly similar to where it was in Gondor when I actually played Redline Runekeeper more, but I just haven't found it as enjoyable since then. That was probably level 100, 105 was probably the peak of my Redline Runekeeper enjoyment. I would say, if anything, Yellow Line has actually gotten more fun since then, but even though it's, like, still on the whole pretty similar, there have been some nice quality of life changes and the such. Oh, here's pending loot. Okay. So the inventory overflow is if I, like, get rid of something in my inventory, like the map to Spring Festival, that will automatically go into my inventory. I'll even destroy these old shoulder pads just to see. Okay, it's another piece of gear. But the pending loot is the one where you have 1 hour to get it. Well, let's see. We got new earring. 5 vitality over 4 fate. I would definitely do that. I think it was that one. Maybe not. Yeah, it was not. There we go. This cat. She forgot how fun it was when I stream. But yeah, pending loot is really, you have an extra 50 inventory spaces for an hour, or at least the items in it last an hour. So you technically do have 50 extra inventory spaces. It's just items that go into that inventory are deleted in an hour. Which I think, for being out on a questing adventure, while I think it could be very fun to have some that last longer than an hour, that's probably about the point you generally want to be, like, returning to some sort of camp where you can sell. Of course, if you're a VIP and pay, you not only can get more inventory spaces from that, but you can also get the subscriber town services. Is that the bear? That sounded like some funky cat noise, to be honest. I feel like I was thinking that because there's a cat right here, but yeah. Yeah, if you're a VIP, you can get the town services and sell on the go. So despite what you might see with my high-level characters on my subscriber account, that's what the cat was typing. Or I guess technically I was typing that, she hit enter. But, what was I saying? Yes, on a VIP account, my inventory is so full on them, but that's because all the loot I'm getting right now it's much worse at high level, and if you like regularly run in-game content, especially if you want to try to maintain like, I don't even have 2 sets of gear. I have like 5 extra pieces of gear or something for tank versus DPS. They're honestly not the biggest difference, but I do have them. And what happens is, I don't know, those just seem to take up so much inventory space trying to keep the gear. So town services, you can pick it up from NPCs. I know there's one in Kellendam and also by the Boar Fountain in Bree. And it lets you do a lot of the town service stuff. So like vendor, vault, wardrobe. Whoa, that's not good. What did she do? I honestly don't know if the stream is still going. I think it is. Okay, there is a way around this. She opened 2 new desktops. All right, then. Well, that was fun. I don't even know the keybind to do that, but good going, cat. Hopefully I don't break things. Oh, this wire's not going to stretch much more. Okay, things are working again, I think. Okay, so we got this discovery deed. So for anybody curious why I was heading here, I'm kind of doing this all, not quite muscle memory, but autopilot. That's what I'm trying to think. So yeah, basically doing this all on autopilot. I was working on Explorer of Era the Wind. This is, I believe, one of the elf ruins. So this would be the ward spire we're at now. So I was completing that deed, which gives me 5 LOTRO points and 2,000 virtue XP is the big thing. Also do get reputation. But yeah, that was the big thing there. We already have Hero of Era the Wind, which is actually the quest deed. So technically, if I just wanted to progress on this character as like a free-to-play account, free-to-play character, and didn't really care about finishing the quests or whatever in the zone, then all I would really need to do to finish the zone is the Slayer deeds and the Explorer deeds. There aren't that many of them left either. I don't know why. I feel like that's what I want to do, but I also kind of do want to finish the quest. But yeah, technically at this point I would also be... Oh, it is a 10% virtue XP weekend. Wow. I didn't even know that. But yeah, I'd actually be high enough level to go to Breeland at this point already. Oh, we already have the Destination Breeland quest as well. So again, if I weren't interested in finishing the prologue, we're interested in doing all these extra side quests, then be a good time to head to Breeland after finishing maybe some of the deeds if I were interested in that. Bears. I'm assuming I killed enough bears. I've actually gone through quite a few of them at this point. So with me having played through this zone so many times, I'm probably going to turn in the quest and finish the quest like the Mound Whites. I'll probably do that. And then maybe do a deed run. I think that would be a good use of time here for this character, so we can... Yeah, do Brigand Slayer should be fairly easy up here. Goblin Slayer as well. There are a couple good spots for goblins. Hendrival, that one might take a little bit of time, but there's plenty of them. I'd say Wolf could be one of the harder ones just because you need a lot. And often I have found that Ninhilith can be a little bit busy. but not necessarily always going to be the case. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, don't have the quest for the signature. Not Bone Man, but whatever this place's version of Bone Man is. So this looks weird to me. Am I even... oh yeah, I'm not even there. That's where the signature guy comes out. I was wondering why things looked weird. It's because I was in a different spot. Although I thought you could go travel up this, but it does not look like it. Oh yeah, the skirmishes are also good. So if you do want to wait for the Defense of Gondomon, whatever that's called, Siege of Gondomon skirmish, then you can do the Wolf and Craven Slayer. And that. And I think Dour Hand, which would be Brigands. Maybe even Goblins. You might be able to do a lot of the Slayer deeds in that. I think they would count. Sometimes things like that don't count for the zone deeds, and I honestly don't immediately remember with Gondomon. That was a nice crit. Okay, so I think at this point we just need to generally kill whites. Wait, I thought this consumed the bleed. It will stop bleeding. It did not stop the bleeding. So I'm curious if it even landed. Mainly because it didn't seem to do much damage if it did. And then I think this is the sword. This is really satisfying. Our quest log is full of turn-ins, except for warming the garrison where we need wolf pelts. But it does look like I did all the white quests just over this guy, and yeah, don't need him at least. And it looked like when we looked at the quest log, everything is complete, so I actually have a lot of turn-ins ready. Don't really need to track the destination Brelands, I'll get rid of that. Prologue, I'll get there. Interval. How many of them do I need? I need 5 more for the base Slayer deed. Wow, that didn't one-shot it. Okay, we'll probably get the Craven, and you can get the Dour Hand, so the Brigands and the Hingerville and Kelladul. That's a pretty good spot to get both of those at once.
What do you want?
There's at least, I feel like there's 2 discoveries at least in Kelladul, but maybe even more. Reward-wise, I get both of those. Okay, inventory is full, so we should take care of that, definitely. Let's sell. I, again, am tempted to try to keep any task items that I can, but if I ultimately can't keep them all, I will get rid of some. But we have plenty of other stuff I see to get rid of. Just going to try to be fairly efficient and keep anything useful. Keep as much useful stuff as I can. That's what I mean. Wow, a lot of these can actually be turned in for tasks. I didn't realize so many of these would be able to be turned in for tasks. That's kind of crazy. I also don't know if there are any limitations to tasks as a free-to-play player.
Greetings to you.
It is really satisfying with these turn-ins. I already crafted myself a better cloak. I think it's better, even though the fate would give me more damage. You know what? I'm I'm gonna go True Hunter Glass Cannon and use that new cloak.
Greetings to you. You may be of service to me. Swilad Melon.
Well, considering we just got a new cloak, I think I'll go with these shoes. Let's do another round of selling. Blueberry muffins. Okay, yeah, I guess I should keep those. Okay. Sell all that. And we are out of pending loot. Okay, so we're all caught up on inventory. Let's check. Virtues look good. Oh, yeah, let's actually equip them. So it is still 5 tasks a day for free to play. That's good to know. That's the same as how it works for subscriber then. Speaking of subscriber, it looks like about half the people are VIP. Almost, at least. Okay, so quest-wise, I feel the need to complete this. We'll go northeast and do the not Bone Man. Just Guardian? Okay. For some reason, I feel like he had a name like Bone Man, but we'll see. And then, Andreas, you're saying that white actually meant a guy, and Tolkien meant barrel guys. Oh, it was perceived as if white meant sort of undead, and now its meaning has changed. Yeah, I just, pretty much based on LOTRO, just always assumed that whites meant some sort of undead. Usually I'm not a fan of a hooded cloak, but it's kind of working for this character right now. When you don't really have any better options for an outfit, sometimes having things that I would not normally wear somehow go together. Standing stone. Can't believe the developers of this game named their company out of that stone. I meant off of that stone. Okay, so we have, I think, that per turn-in. One thing I have noticed is that the mount is relatively slow. Like, I'm used to a faster mount, I'll just put it that way. But at least having a mount, that's something that's different than how it used to be. Also, I did not realize the cat cam was totally knocked at my bathroom. Wonderful. Once I see that the cat cam is off, I'm like, have to fix it and get it in its proper state. But yeah, even though this feels a little bit slow on the steed, the traveling, it really is faster than running on foot. And compared to even way back in the day where you couldn't even get your mount, like pre-LOTRO store days, you couldn't even get your mount to level 20. It's of course better than that. Oh yeah, it was level 35, so I actually did not play back when it was level 35, but that is true. I also remember, or at least hearing, that it was tough to even get enough gold by that point to have it. It was kind of, I would say, more similar to WoW in that way. Okay, I'm not going to worry about what I sold.
May I help you?
Greetings to you.
That's one of the oh, hunters can't use one-handed hammers? How long has that been a thing? Oh well, I got me a crit feather hat. Dang, with this feather hat, I'm like... Do we like feather hat or hooded cloak better? I think the hooded cloak looks better, but I don't know, the feather hat is looking pretty good as well. Yeah, it's kind of interesting with classic WoW though. Having the experience that I had in WoW when I went back to that it was like super easy to get enough gold for the mount. Both the regular mount and the epic mount, by the time you were, or at least I was, level appropriate when I got those. I think Stable Master is much faster than 62 to 67%. I don't know what the exact speed would be. I think the War Steed can go faster though, if you're at a full War Steed. Could be 100%. Oh, you can use one-handed hammers at 15. That makes sense, because I feel like I've used a hammer on my hunter before. And I mean, I was gonna say, don't they know that hunters, they like just use all the weapons? Except for two-handers. Hunters can't use two-handers in LOTRO, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, I think just turn-ins as far as getting progress goes. I feel like she's ignoring me.
I am at your service. At your service.
Hey, here's another hammer I can't use. 2 more levels though. That's not too terrible. Although the other hammer was a lot better. It honestly doesn't matter too much. The primary use of a melee weapon should be just as a stat stick basically, but one of our stronger abilities is Scourging Blow, but I don't know if the consumption of the bleed, if that damage is based on your melee weapon or on the bleed itself. But at high levels that wouldn't quite matter as much. Or at least if you keep your weapons up to date, I should say. One thing I'm curious with Update 35, this is kind of random, but I was thinking, I saw a Doom of Karisk 11 group in World Chat, and that made me think about the raid. I actually don't remember the raid ever becoming available in the beta, but it could have, and I just missed it this week. That'd definitely be a possibility.
What do you need? Will you help me? Might you lend me an ear? Well met.
There we go. And hey, we got the Gondam onto Brilliant quest, so that means we're ready to head out. I'm playing on Langevall, Andrew. Speaking of, population's kind of low. I guess it is technically a little bit early. I actually started the stream earlier than my normal stream time. Right now, actually, 7 o'clock would be about my ideal normal stream time, but I want to get things started earlier today. Okay, so we can, do turn-ins, and my primary focus at this point is going to be deeds. So I would like to make sure that I actually explore everywhere. I don't know exactly everywhere where I've been, like, based on the name, but if I just travel everywhere, eventually I'll get everything. I think Dower Hands, there could be a couple others over here that I still need to get. Kelladul and Kelladul Docks would both be in one, and I think that's Grimwater up there. Places of the Dwarves, all that's going to be northwest in the more snowy areas. And then, yeah, that's just General Explorer. Wrath Tereg is one I have not been to yet, but there's a few extra explorations there we can do. Can also work on Goblin Slayer while there, and Spider Slayer for that matter. I don't necessarily want to get every single spider up here. I'm probably not doing this in the most efficient way, to be honest, but again, I think the current general priority for me is to do the quests that I have in the areas.
And well met.
Oh yeah, and this one actually takes me to the Grimwater. There we go. Midnight in Europe. I'm already a bit tired. Not quite completely ready for bed, but I'm just like feeling a little bit sleepy. And hearing midnight made me think nighttime. I've also been playing at nighttime, which I'm kind of curious if that actually has any impact on me being like, hey, it's nighttime, should be bedtime, I should be sleeping. I actually don't know. Yeah, and Anoith and Dunland, I love those 2 zones. Hey, somebody else is here. I think I saw somebody move once. I don't know if it was that guy, but can we count that as 2 people I've run into today? But yeah, one reason I actually did think this was... Hold up. There we go. So my Ken had Red Maid for the Spring Festival scheduled, and I thought, you know, at the end of the stream, if they need one more person, I could go ahead and join that for a little bit. I probably won't want to stay on all that long, where I'd want to, like, be doing that for a couple hours, but what I thought was, that was 1 hour from now, but due to the time change, it sounds like the scheduling of that got mixed up on a couple channels, so it's actually, like, now that they're starting to form, so I said if they want me there or need a spot filled, I'd be happy to swap over, just so you'll know. We might actually be cheating and going non-free to play for a bit to run that. But hey, it'll give us a direct sort of comparison to playing on a subscriber account. Oh, Andreas, you're wondering when I will stream again? Current target is Sunday. I'd like to try to at least. I just totally ignored that cat on accident. See, when I'm just like at my computer doing stuff, they tend to become background for better or worse. I think it's because they're like always bothering me that I just don't notice it as much. And especially with Lexi, because she's so like nice about her bothering. She's not like Piper, where she Piper's the one in the cat cam right now, where she like insistently rubs all over me and the microphone and the such, and like tries to play the game banging my keyboard. Lexi just does as she did. She came up here, did a little rub, maybe saw Piper in the bed and decided there's no room for her in there either, or as well, and decided to skedat. Can probably get her back. Oh, don't know where she went. Okay, so what am I doing? Selling. Don't want his helmet. Don't want those. I kind of want to keep that hammer. I only have one more level to go. We'll see if I can manage keeping it. Okay, I actually don't have any overflow inventory, so that's good. Yeah, I feel like my inventory doing decent. I can get whatever quest reward this was now. An earring. So I'll probably want to keep the vendor up. Yeah, I don't want that fate, so bye. And then, oh, we could actually get a new bow from this. That would be a pretty big DPS upgrade, about 1.5 times. Collect treasure boxes. I have done that quest. Oh yeah, that's in Keladol. That's actually convenient. We'll go there anyway. I honestly don't always get to these quests when I do Ear of the Wind, because you'll see my level and just like general progress if you're looking to get through it. That I, yeah, just tend to not quite get to them. So I don't always remember that these are even quests, but then once I get them, it's like a switch that I do remember they exist. But I'm thinking an interesting way to go there might actually be through Wrath Tareg. So we can get some wolves while we're up here. And I'm thinking do a circle around Wrath Tareg and then get, yeah, go to Keladol after that. I think that could be a decent path to try to optimize my route a little bit. This is something thinking though from the new player perspective. I would probably have no idea that that's something I'd want to do. Like even if I saw, without looking at any external resources, I mean, if I saw that there was an Explore Wrath Tareg, or yeah, here, Explorer of Ear of the Wind, if I saw Explore Wrath Tareg, I'd have no idea where that is. If I did all the quests, I might eventually run into it, but as an elf, I don't remember that you actually get a breadcrumb style quest to go there. So yeah. Okay, let's head, yeah, just south. I should run into some wolves, maybe. Hey, there's a goblin. Yes, Ear of the Wind's pretty good. I don't think it's a I don't think it's like one of the best zones in the game ever, but I've also done it so many times where I don't know, it's hard for me to not have a perspective that's based on having run it so much. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good zone, and at least from the elf side, I think it's a pretty good starter experience overall. Okay, so based on my Wolf Slayer deed progress, I'll go ahead and clear out what I can here. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. I've just done this zone so many times that at the current moment, I am feeling a little bit tired of it. But hey, as somebody that's new, you might not necessarily like the zone, but at least you probably wouldn't have the feeling of it being like, I don't know, tiring at this point into it. This is actually a decent spot to drop, I think. I'm going about this a bit oddly. I'm probably not going to do the quests for this area just because I don't necessarily need to, but yeah, we should be able to get our exploration and of course Goblin Slayer. That is something we need to still defeat quite a few of those. Anti-exploit. This is our first time running into that. Wow. I'm actually impressed. Usually I run into that It seems like Nin Health is a commonplace, or at least used to be a commonplace to run into that, but yeah, they give you a little info about the mobs getting confused. Happens, I'd say, more frequently in dungeons than landscape, in my experience, especially the Sarkvorn. It happens all the time, the latest dungeon in the game. Okay, I think I should have triggered any sort of exploration that was over here. I'm just not used to ever going into Wrath to Rig from this. Oh, this isn't even Wrath to Rig. That would explain it. I was wondering. Oh, I fell way off, but I am so confused. Why are there hearts going up from my chat box on my like YouTube stream managed page? That was weird. But anyway, yeah, that's why that place looks so weird. I was thinking that I was jumping in right there is why that was so confusing to me. But anyway, we got that. I don't remember ever having to discover that, to be honest. Yeah, it's probably some quest there from the dwarf side, if I remember correctly. But for what we need, Wrath to Rig down here. Now I feel like just because I'm here, I might as well pick up these quests.
Greetings, traveler. Will you stay a moment? Welcome. You've come at a most fortuitous time.
Okay, so Master Zhao, you were wondering if blue line or red line for leveling. I'm guessing for Hunter. But yeah, both of them have their values while leveling. So blue line is what I would typically play for a Hunter while leveling, just because you can shoot while on the go, and you still do plenty of damage for landscape. And it's just generally a lot faster pace, so you can get through stuff a lot quicker. To me, I also like the maybe amount of stuff going on when you play blue line. So that would be an advantage for me to be more enjoyable. While the red line would do more damage, but it could still be, depending on your level, your gear, how much damage you're doing in general, it could actually be slower even though it does more damage because you gotta stand still to shoot. But then again, you could also very easily completely one-shot mobs in the red line. I'd say I noticed around Mordor on my Hunter that is, it could have happened before then, like the exact switch, but that's when I really noticed that, like, yeah, red line is doing a decent bit more damage. But also around that time, there were balance changes, other stuff potentially going on. I think there were periods where blue line was definitely stronger, so this could have been like after the big blue line nerf that I was experiencing that. I honestly don't remember at this point. But yeah, doing a big AoE like that at level 14 on red line might be tougher. Whoever knew that Hunter was one of those round them up and AoE them down classes. Oh, I have so many trait points to spend. But in fact, if you do a hybrid blue, red, and yellow build, I think I do this actually spec'd blue. You can get Rain of Arrows, Rain of Thorns, Explosive Arrow, maybe some of the other stuff with traps. No, that'd probably be your primary like damaging AoE, and then Split Shot from the blue line and being able to do it all on the go. Not necessarily the strongest, but for me at least, entertaining. Do I need many more goblins? I still need a couple more. A couple as in 12, just to do some translation there. But yeah, something I could recommend though is you have two build options here. Maybe keeping one up with red line and one up with blue line. Typically for endgame content, red line is ultimately going to be better. So I think if you're interested in playing it in endgame, getting some experience with red line could be helpful and beneficial. But also if you like to play blue line and want to keep up to date with that and how it plays, have a spec for that as well. So I need to spend some trait points. I'll probably go here. I think in, yeah, update 35, actually, the build for this character could change a little bit. But I think for now, I almost want to get more split shot targets. That's kind of odd. Quick shot. Yeah, bonus focus application chance. Hopefully I'm not using quick shot enough that that comes into play. Oh yeah, find the path movement speed. That's what we want. We want to run faster. I think we can get to the point where we are very close or maybe even outpacing our steed. Right now our steed's only 8% faster than our run, which is kind of nice. I realize this tooltip is broken and it doesn't actually tell you how much it boosts the run speed. So I just off the top of my head don't remember if we end up outpacing it. For some reason I was thinking something like 32%. But if we have two more ranks to spend, so that'd be like 4% each point in that, which would make sense to get it to 32. Seems to be getting a little brighter outside. It is forward on. It's not quite the season for that, but that is one thing I missed about living in the north was how early sunrise was. It might sound weird, but I actually really enjoyed when sunrise was 5:30-ish. I don't know exactly when it was, but started to see some light around then. And it was, I don't know, I really like the schedule of like waking up on, it was basically 5:30 on the dot that I'd start waking up pretty consistently for. That would have been not, well, actually it was, I don't remember if I did that much the summer prior, but last summer, the early parts of it, so maybe even late spring, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, that's when it was. I'm missing that schedule a little bit. Also, there's plenty of spiders here. Took a minute to get to this particular spot of rattering, but it's great for spiders. Now, I would very much like it if my foot could stop itching. Okay, I'm actually now questioning where all these spiders came from. Given I haven't been paying too much attention to my current combat loop, but it seemed like I had a number of spiders just swarm me while I was standing there. Wow, I think there's some lag going on and maybe some other issues. Oh boy. Is my latency that bad? Oh, my latency is actually lower than normal. Wow, I'm down to like 30 milliseconds. The game just feels quite laggy. It doesn't feel responsive right now, basically. It feels a bit janky. Do these spiders, have they always spawned this rapidly? I honestly don't remember this. This might be better than up in the I can't think of his name, the misplaced cook guy that you have to rescue. But yeah, this might be better than that area. So if I were doing a deed run like I am now, I would come here and like clean out the spiders, but if you're just looking for a spot to get a bunch of them and stay there for a while, it's a pretty good spot. But back to exploration deeds, I think I got South Gate was what I got down here. So we need to head back up north. I also, oh, for some reason I'm feeling like you have to get something there, but we'll see. That would be Rathreg. So there's only 2 more, so I don't believe that's the case. Oh yeah, Lagan, Breeland, or at least Bree Town. That place can be a bit of a hit on FPS. Honestly, I haven't played LOTRO enough lately to know how lag has been doing the past couple or few weeks. There we go. It's actually kind of fun to roleplay as a champion as a hunter. That does require a bit more AoE than I have right now, though. But I'd be curious. I might have to use a potion. I have these potions for a reason. Gotta make use of them. But here I can also remove. I think it removes 2 debuffs as a hunter and gives me some poison resistance. I need that. Okay, that should take care of those guys. We'll just barrage this guy down, maybe. Okay, there we go. But what I'm curious is if I respec, I'd want to stay blue line. That's going to be the tough part. 6. So that would be, if I spent 6 points there, that would leave me 7 points, which I think is enough to do what I'm going to try to do. This might be a very strange low-level build. Oh, for Spider Deed? Okay, so for spiders, I was referring mainly to Ear of the Wind. But yeah, if you're doing the Shire Spider Slayer Deed, Scary Quarry's a great place. Okay, yes, we want consume focus damage. We want 1 point in that. I would like 1 point in press onward, but we might not have enough. And then, very oddly, yeah, at this point, oh no. Why was I thinking I had enough points? If these were 1 point each. Okay. 1 point in that. There we go. I'm just returning to where I was. Maybe. Oh, there we go. We'll just forget all that happened. What I was going to try to do, though, was get explosive shot, explosive arrow. That doesn't even do that much damage, actually. Well, yeah, that doesn't do all that much damage. I thought it did a little bit more. Anyway, we have places to explore. I don't know what I'm doing. The thing is, I don't know by time you get high enough level to get explosive arrow then, if that'd even be worth really considering. The only reason I was going to switch to that right now is because of how much AoE I'm doing. It could have been fun. What did I get here? The Sylvan Shadows? Don't need that. Do I still have a Goblin Slayer Deed? I do not, so we can just run through these guys. I mean, I can still kill them. I just don't need to go way out of my way to do so. Looking at the poll again, though, actually it stayed pretty similar. About a fifth of you all are free to play. Which, with the updates to monetization last year, I'm sure the experience with that is a whole lot better. than it used to be, if you're even to that point where it'd come into play. Although I think it comes into play pretty much sort of constantly, because they did some good quality of life changes to character building and trait slots and all that sort of stuff. Oh boy. Okay, these elites actually do pack in a little bit of damage. I don't know that I want to die on this character. I don't know that I have died on him, so I might actually try to go through this and kill the elites. It require me to be patient, and I'm just not feeling like being patient right now, though. Okay, let's see. We got one elite on us still. Based on my health, that's probably not the safest thing. We also have been given tons of consumables from these quests, so if I have anything with, I was thinking of vitality. 3 vitality versus 8 agility. I'd actually consider the vitality at this level. I don't really have any other, like, premium boost type things. I'm used to getting those on my normal characters, I think. Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, Class D Accelerator. Hey, there's a bow. Might loot that bow just so I can equip it and have a better bow for this. There we go. It also looks a little bit fancier. So Achilles, you said that you came back to the game after 10 years plus and you were super overwhelmed. Oh, so you started a new character. Okay, I could definitely see that. LOTRO has a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that changed since 10 plus years ago especially, that I could definitely see it being overwhelming starting a new character. I do see people all the time recommend, like, if you are a returning player, to maybe make a new character to at least get used to the game and maybe even stick with the new one. Even for, like, me trying to roleplay as a new player in LOTRO, if you missed the first part, not of the stream, but of the series. Something I noticed is they give you... There's a lot. I think it could definitely be overwhelming for somebody just starting. I think more so if you're not familiar at all with the MMO genre. But there's a lot of systems in the game, and you get thrown into quite a few of them early on. Even with just my character, though, the Hunter, at least you get a lot of abilities, which as an experienced player and somebody who's played a lot, I actually like it. My gameplay kit actually feels like it's decently filled out, and I'm only level 14. But you get a lot very early for your character, and even more now with the traits, which again, I think from the experienced player perspective, it's actually really nice to have that. But it could definitely be overwhelming to new players and returning players for that matter. It's kind of fun to kill elites, like the slower pace. I feel like it's good for me. Crookdell, did we get progress? Yes, we did. I think you have to actually run to where you trigger Crookdell, for anybody curious. Okay, 1.5 hours. Not too bad. That's about how long I've been streaming, and I was just thinking, my legs are starting to get a little bit tired. I haven't been the best about using the standing mode on my desk lately either. I haven't even been at my desk that much. Like in my downtime. Ah, these are all our goblins, we can run away. I guess I could run away if they were elites too, but... I also haven't heard from my kin about joining them, or them needing one more, so... Looks like I am, at least so far, safe from being recruited to that. I didn't want to take somebody's spot who might have signed up just because I was in the middle of this, and again, I was thinking that this was about half an hour later. Okay, so the other place we need is up this hill. If I can actually go there, although I wouldn't mind tagging the spider. There we go. Oh yeah, if you were high enough level for the legendary items, I could definitely see that one being a pretty overwhelming system to get back into and get acclimated to the new LI system, especially from a higher level perspective. I think, while I don't think the system is perfect for like just getting your LIs for the very first time in the game, I think it's at least does a decent job easing you into it, even if it still, in a sense, throws you into the deep end with how everything works. But there we go, after way too long, because I've just been slow and haven't had the best direction. We have finished the exploration for Wrath Tareg. We have finished the Goblin Slayer deed. I think we still need a decent bit of spiders, but you know, with 17, I'm not too worried about going back down south to get those. Brigand and Hinderville we can easily do in Keladul. We can also scout the Dower Hands there. And otherwise, we just have to go up northwest. Oh, and Wolf Slayer could do that as well. But otherwise, we just have to go up northwest. Yeah. Get the explorations up there. That's what I mean.
At your service and your families. Greetings.
This guy has gloves for me. They're an upgrade. My inventory is full though. Inventory is full and I have pending loot. So that means I have to toss something. I think would be my best option right now. What is the lowest value item in my inventory? That would be Landscape Soldier token. I'm not going to worry about that. I'd say it's somewhere between useless and basically useless. That said, it does have some uses that make it technically not useless to me. But I don't think I'd get any good use out of it with this character. This deed feels so slow now that my character runs fast as well with Find the Path, which I don't even have enabled. Oh yeah, so I was curious if this character died. I honestly don't remember, but I think the way to check would be my Undying titles. Is that race and social? Yes, so I've achieved the 14th level without dying, so this character is on the Undying streak. I think level... For some reason, I always get it mixed up, level 19 versus 20. They have them at a bit odd levels. It's like 5, 10, then 14, and I thought it was 19 for Undying, but it could be 20. Either way, if I were interested in such a title, that's all you really get out of it. It's good to keep up the not dying streak. It also gives me practice for my upcoming Captain series. Sometime after Update 35 comes out, I'll be trying something different with a new captain who has some rules though. Being, he's going to be a hardcore character, so if he dies, I will delete him. I could actually track these deeds, but that's no fun. See, I actually feel faster on foot just because the run animation is a lot faster than the very slow steed animation. It makes it feel faster even if I'm technically traveling slower. Like, I feel like I'm zooming right now compared to being on the steed. Yeah, being an alcoholic really is the way to go with LOTRO. I would probably get bored of the game pretty quickly if I never made an alt. Those are a lot of bats. Where are all the wolves? Must have cleared them out earlier. Oh well. I was hoping for a little bit better with them at least. No, I feel super slow again. Okay, we'll not make the mistake and go to Cloven Dale. Cloven Vale. Okay. So, Hippocratic Oath, you try to not die until you get to Moria and jump down the well. I think that's a pretty decent challenge. You know, if I ever die on my hardcore character, a way to get around deleting it is technically when you die in LOTRO, you're just defeated. Your morale drops to 0. Your character's health does not drop to 0. Your character does not actually die. But in the spirit of the challenge, it would be defeat equals delete. Ooh, Stout X Warden. I honestly haven't been able to get into Stout X's, but glad other people like them. I mean, I don't even play dwarves that much, but if I played a dwarf, I would prefer the original Longbeard style over Stout X style. I think I could technically take a slow travel from Gondamon to Thrassy's Lodge. It's a lot more appealing when this slow. Which really is crazy considering, like, again, without a steed, without Find the Path even, just how much slower I would be. I think that's I don't know why I'm just feeling impatient right now, but I am. I'm feeling like everything's too slow. Okay, so we actually have a quest turn in. I kind of forgot about quests. I think I was just sort of autopiloting towards the quest, because, I mean, I need to go to Keladol anyway, but I actually have 2 quest turn-ins here. Is there a vendor? That's something I did not check on. We should probably work on that at some point. Those are good boots. Well, I'll destroy these gloves. Get my good boots. And I'll just, well, I don't need to destroy those yet. Do we want to do this? Might as well. Avert to war.
Prepares to mount an effort to rescue the elf prince Avothal from the clutches of the treacherous Dowerhand.
Oh, I have to speak to him. I figured this could help a little bit with the Dowerhand Slayer. There might even be some Kraben here as well. Tendril. Oh, I can't unlock the gate. So yeah, Irstiad, you said, after understanding of deeds and how to farm it, oh, you've decided the Hunter and Burglar class is not for you because of single target things. Hunter can get a little bit of decent AoE, at least split shot. That would be the main source for me at the moment. But yeah, if you're looking for AoE, especially good, rapid, consistent AoE, Hunter and Burglar would not be the best choices. Champion, I think, would be the obvious one for an easy, basic AoE, at least can spec to AoE melee class, if you want that one. Runekeeper, if you're looking to be tactical, they have a decent bit of AoE. It's probably overall somewhat similar to Hunter, though. Maybe a little bit more, especially at higher levels, but that's also true with Hunter. At higher levels, you can actually build towards a lot more AoE. Still not the sturdiest thing. Oh, Minstrel, that's actually a pretty decent AoE one. Oh yeah, we have to, because this dude always has to rest.
They know we are here.
Careful now, we are moving deeper into the camp. In case you all didn't know. That's a lot of bleeds. Oh, personal house. So I'm level 15. What do they have to say about personal house? Premium housing upkeep is waived for VIPs. I feel like regular housing upkeep should be as well. But that's a different thing. Oh yeah, Lore Master definitely have some AoE. Warden does as well, if you're interested in that class. Speaking of Warden, an interesting note that I saw in the, I think it was the latest beta round, is they nerfed the consumption effect of the new gambits at the end of the like 1-3 and 1-2 line, I think, something like that. The ones that consume damage over time effects, they actually nerfed the burst of those from the consumption, which I thought was kind of interesting because in my beta experience, which given was like beta 2, I think was the last time I played, and we're up to what was beta 4 this week, and the release scheduled for next week. In my experience, the consumption effects was like, from what would be my ideal balance of just however strong it is, was like entirely too weak. I think it was the consumption would do somewhere between 1 and 2 ticks worth of damage. And something I would really like to see. I don't know if they quite have the technical capabilities, but I would hope that'd be possible. The way I would generally prefer it to work is if they could make it so that the consumption effect is based on how long the bleeds, damage over time effects have left. So like if you have the full uptime of your dot and use the dot consumption, it would do a lot more damage than if it had 1 tick left. It creates a little bit of a different gameplay dynamic, but that's just what I would generally tend to prefer myself.
What can I do for you?
Oh wow, I actually have decent pants, which means I don't want any of these. Well, one of them sells for 4 silver, which is definitely more than those boots, so there we go. And I think I'm high enough level to use my high level potion, so if I go to a vendor I can sell the low level ones as well now. Yeah, keep up on the inventory management here. For time remaining on this stuff, we still have about half an hour, so I feel mostly safe with that. I'm hoping to finish, let's see. Yeah, I definitely think I can finish Ear of the Wind today. That will be my goal. I wonder how many LOTRO points I have. I have 90 LOTRO points. How much would, say, Gondor, if I want to get one of the Gondor quest packs? Let's see, Gondor, so those are 795 LOTRO points. I definitely could get, oh, wow, for Norian is 1995, definitely. I guess it gives the instance cluster for Pelennor Battle. I would not consider that worth 1995. So if I were to buy something, like a piece of content from the LOTRO store, this is way in the future, but my tentative plan would be probably Mordor, because with the book quests in Gondor, which you should have access to as free to play, unless something funky has happened. Technically, I think I should have. Gotten another quest while outside of here, but that's okay. I don't know if I can do any of the landscape quests. It does not look like it. And Aberthal, I think, would be on the boat. Doesn't look like I can trigger explorations here. I think he's on one of the boats. But let's see, what was I going on about? Oh yeah, so if I were to actually buy something from the LOTRO store, it would probably be Mordor. Because Gondor, you can do the book quests, and there's a lot of other content options. Even as free-to-play, you at least have some skirmishes. Maybe you wouldn't have missions. That could be a consideration. If you have the LOTRO points to get some sort of content with missions. To have some good repeatable stuff, but you'd even have instances and different things you could do to boost your level a bit extra. You can do zone deeds. You don't actually have to have the quest pack, at least as far as I know. You don't have to have the quest pack to do the zone deeds. And you can start Mordor early, level-wise. You could start it as early. It might be a bit tough, but start it as early as like level 101. Probably would rather 102, 103 minimum to be safest. Or we'll give you a bit of a challenge if you want that. And then, yeah, Helm's Deep, you could probably extend a lot of that content. I would not want to do that, but you could extend that to probably close to 100, I would imagine, without doing much repeatable content. Now, for me, knowing what I actually know about LOTRO, and knowing what I enjoy in LOTRO, I should say, I probably would not enjoy trying to do Helm's Deep and extend Rohan content much past. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to do it nowadays, considering you don't need it for clash trait points anymore. If I had repeatable content missions, I would probably just completely skip it. That might be tougher as a free-to-play player, and it's something I would recommend, like, if you enjoy LOTRO. Just because I dislike West Rohan and even East Rohan a little bit less so, I don't think that people should just like completely avoid it like I do, but at least give it a try. There are plenty of people that enjoy it. So if you decide, or if you're trying to think of something efficient to purchase on a free-to-play account, as I would be, this is planning way long-term at this point, and not even considering potential freebies that could come out from Standing Stone Games or cheap sells, I would probably tentatively set my sights on Mordor to start, was the whole point. And then somebody was asking, let's see, Python Dad, you're wondering if there's a time of year that expansions in the LOTRO store go on sale. I'm not entirely sure for LOTRO store specifically, but the anniversary coming up in about a month or so, you could probably expect some sales during that time. I don't know specifically LOTRO store, or if that might be more like LOTRO market with expansions and whatever other things they could have going on. I honestly don't expect the anniversary to be as big as last year as far as that goes, just because the 15th anniversary was pretty insane. And yeah, with Rohan, as you say, Andrew, it's so big and a quest is on the other side of the map, it gets very annoying very fast. And to me, it gets repetitive. After, like, for me at least, in Rohan, when I start West Rohan, I do Entwade. I think that's where you start. I think you can do Middlemead or Edoras, but I think that's the general progression. You go there. By the time you get to 2 camps, it feels like you're almost doing the same thing. And multiply that by however many camps in West Rohan there are. This is ignoring East Rohan, which I've done actually less questing in East Rohan than West Rohan. But yeah, to me it feels like not necessarily every single camp, but most of them, and most places with a mead hall in particular. So like Aldburg, Edoras, I guess Middlemead would count for that. Oserley, Stoke. All those places just feel very samey and very repetitive for me. But again, some people really enjoy the region, so... Your experience might not necessarily match up with mine in West Rohan. Yeah, and there were some weird things with levels, Andrew, and also having to make sure you're on like the right part of the book quest and do the right zone quest to progress the book quests and different things like that that made it, for me, not the most fun experience on top of the other, say, issues that I had with it. Okay, I need 32 more Hindrable. I think that's all I really need here. I've probably gotten the exploration, I would guess. Nope. Oh, Spire of Kelidol. Okay. I thought the Spire was in the middle. Maybe not. Maybe I just haven't even gotten to the place to trigger it. Okay, so we still need some Dower Hand, but I'd say primarily Kindrival should be my focus. Like if I had to focus on a single mob type. I think Split Shot is a great option until I don't have enough focus to use it. I did see some Hindrable over here before we tried to scout out the Spire. There's one, and then more down here. One thing I'm not doing a great job of is taking in the sights of this area. If you actually bother to slow down, unlike what I'm doing right here. It's a pretty neat area. It's kind of hard for me to slow down when I have this many angry dwarves chasing me, but still. In the background, as I'm spinning around, try to admire some of the beauty here. Okay, there we go. Nice looking area, I think. Still a bit low on health, though. Should take care of him. There we go, needed an auto attack. Okay, so server matter, just pick anyone. So the main things with the servers is they do have like different population, a little bit different communities. It tends to be, I think Arkenstone tends to have, so if you're picking an NA server specifically, I should say, Arkenstone tends to have more endgame activity and PvMP activity than other servers. That doesn't mean other servers such as Landfall, which I'm on right now. That doesn't mean they don't have this type of activity, but it just tends to be more so on Arkenstone. Landfall, kind of similarly, tends to have more roleplay and more like player run events, concerts, that type of stuff. I'm pretty much on Landfall because that's where my kin is, and that's another thing that could be a consideration in your server choice, is if you, it would be difficult, but if you somehow already know of a kinship you want to join, it'd be good to know what server they're on. Okay, I didn't do a great job with Hindrable because I still need like 21 more, and somebody else is here destroying them. I was gonna do a quick circle through Kelidol, and then there's plenty of Hindrable out here. I don't really need to do this, to be honest. Hopefully I didn't scare the Guardian away. It's like once I come here, they turn the other way. Yeah, that is also true. If you join a kinship in LOTRO, that you can get more travel skills. You can get travel to your kin house, but also a certain kin member's house, if you'd like. Just more travel options, more places to go. Potentially, they'd have like target dummies if you're interested in that, training dummies, that is. They'd also could have universal ingredient packs. I think a lot of kinships have that at a kin house or even personal house. So you can use those in crafting. Those are these check universal ingredient packs to make bound stuff. Easy way to craft yourself armor, or an alt armor, basically. Oh, and here's the turn-in. Honestly, don't know what I did for that quest. Maybe it was just defeat Taurian. I am really like running Era of the Wind dry for not necessarily intending to do like all the quests. I've done a lot of Gatomon quests that I don't normally do. Alright, Hingerville would be, well, mainly west, but a little bit north of here as well would be the big, dense population of them. And then after that, I think it's wolves and exploration would be really all I have left, though, deed-wise. Alright, let's see how many I got. Unfortunately, my AoEs don't have that many targets, but it sure was fun rounding all these guys up. Okay, I'll try to see this next one progress-wise. How am I doing? Maybe? Doesn't seem to want to tell me. Okay, apparently these guys are very bad about bringing up their tooltip. I am 4 away. Okay, we can do it. Oh yeah, Southern Barrow Downs. And even Northern Barrow Downs to me. Just all the Barrow Downs, that's a great place if you just, I don't know, want to level in Breeland. I think that's generally my favorite to do. Occasionally Northern Bree with North Bree fields and the such can be fun, but if I had to pick what I would rather do, right now it would be Barrow Downs, and that's typically going to be the case for me as well. I think even at level 15 I could go there if I really wanted. I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so deed-wise, just double check that really is all I have left. Yes, we still have Places of the Dwarves, so that's all going to be in the northwest. We have 4 more Hinderville I need to defeat. And, oh, I still have spiders. I did not realize that. Let's get the spiders now. I think that would be, I can get some Hinderville on the way there, potentially. And then maybe I will use my milestone since it should be off cooldown, and we'll go down near Ninhilth, get the wolves, and then do some travels up in the northwest, I think. That was a spider, I guess I can get it. I don't know how many spiders I needed either. I think I'm pretty close. Yeah, just 14 more. That's not bad. And once I actually get to the dense spot with spiders, I was hoping for some Hinderville along the way. I, for some reason, expected that there would be some. I'm a little bit less confident that there are actually Hinderville up here now, but I don't know, maybe we'll run into them. But yeah, that kind of hurts my get up here, get 400 vol along the way, then use my milestone out of here idea. Kind of crazy how different this looks when they cleared it out whenever that happened. I honestly don't know when. It's probably been a few years at this point. I've just kind of gotten used to the newer version, but it used to feel so much more closed off in this general area. Either lagging or rooted. I am rooted. I didn't really see a visual effect with that though. Even if it wasn't lag, that made my mind first go to lag instead of being rooted. Yeah, this place was actually kind of scary on level. I definitely agree. Doing the escort quest, getting that guy, Ori, is that his name, or Bozy? The misplaced cook guy. It actually felt like a challenge back in the day, at least for me. That could just be a me thing though. Bercy. There we go. Okay, so we got the Spider Slayer, but we still need a lot of Hendrival. So I'm going to head in that general direction back to the Hendrival camp, den, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll, yeah, head down south and get the wolves, I think. How many wolves do I need? Is it worth going to the south, or are there enough wolves in the north? You know, maybe, yeah, that's actually... yeah, I think I'm going to head to Bassy's Lodge, and then take a travel to Gondamon or Noglon if I can. Probably can't, and try to get all the explorations that I need in the dwarf area. And then I'll use my milestone and get the wolves in Nen Hillith. I don't need spiders anymore. Yeah, I honestly don't know if this is the most exciting thing. I kind of like the general... It's kind of quest-like, achievement-like progress that deeds have. So to me, it's fairly entertaining to do an activity like this. I've just done it so many times in LOTRO. It's not something I'd always want to do, especially in a zone I've done so many times. Here's the Hendrival I was hoping for on the way up there. And hey, there we go. I thought I needed 4, but I only needed 2 even. Wow. But yeah, this is kind of the... I think what am I trying to say? Get the most efficient use out of your free-to-play experience, get the most out of being free to play in LOTRO is to do deeds like this in all the zones. It takes a little bit of time. I honestly haven't been here that long. 2 hours, and I've done... A lot of it has been questing. I would guess that I started to switch roughly an hour ago, maybe even a little bit longer ago, that I was like really focusing on the deeds. But yeah, let's see, we can go to Gondamon is where I want to go. Even with the signature white that I killed earlier, the white mounds, with the Gondamon and I can't remember it, Glowin. I think that's it. Is that Glowin? No, Glamir? Might be Glamir. But anyway, Glowin. Yeah, not Glowin. This place, Imen Hod, however you say that. That signature, I remember that quest also used to be a bit tough. I'm sure at least part of it was my newbiness, but it was, I think, generally tougher. Well, definitely tougher, yeah. Okay, I'm curious if I can take a travel directly to Nogland. If I can't, no big deal, but if I can, that will speed things up a little bit. What's that, the third person I've run into, maybe? We ran into the... I forget what it was, but up there was a dwarf, and then an elf and Keladul. Oh, no, that's the mission stable master. There's the Longbeard stable master. Here we go, we can go to Noglan. That's basically cheating. Not that I'm really going to complain about it. All I'm really thinking about is what I want to eat tonight. I need to make rice, but mainly to refrigerate it for later. But yeah, I have to... Oh, I need to do my inventory. I also have to think about what I actually want to eat. I should actually turn tasks in. That would be probably the easiest way to deal with my inventory. But could have done that at Gondomon. But I will do that. Do some inventory management at wherever we're headed. Yeah, keeping all the task items, not the easiest as a free-to-play account with the limited inventory space that we have. Compared to how I regularly am, I have to be less reactive and I think more proactive with my inventory management. One thing I noticed though, I am level 15, so I can indeed equip that hammer. So we're going to go with hammer and sword instead of axe and sword. I'd probably rather axe and sword. I'd rather odd weapon choice, but I think a good spear and axe would be my ideal hunter weapons. I also do like spear and sword, but I just generally like spear. Void Ranger, you're wondering what changes I would like to see for free-to-play accounts? Honestly, right now I'm not noticing that many, because I'd say inventory. That's the biggest thing that I've been going on and on about. That's really the only thing I've run into, like free-to-play limitation-wise so far, is the inventory. I think one thing sort of related to that could be the auction house. I think LOTRO's auction house is generally underutilized, so allowing... That one's only the Shire, so I'll sell it. Allowing free-to-play players to use the auction house might help a little bit with that. At least I don't think you can use the auction house as free-to-play, so if you can, maybe ignore that part. But even as a non-free-to-play player, there's relatively limited slots that you can put on the auction house. There's also, for how much people don't utilize it, the post duration is somewhat limited, and it's not the most convenient thing to just like use. So having, I don't know, something more convenient with that just for in general in the game could definitely be helpful. But also from, yeah, the free-to-play player perspective. But yeah, somebody in chat mentioned that you can't use auction house, and I haven't even gotten there to like actually look at it for myself in game to see how it even works from the free-to-play experience. For some reason, I remember these having a longer induction in the past. Okay, there we go. Broken daggers. I can turn those in for tasks, so again, my current strategy is to keep those as much as it kind of sucks for my inventory. Is there anything else that I have locked that I could sell? Not really. Okay, so let's start getting rid of broken daggers. I have a couple stacks of that, so we'll sell all those and loot that and maybe sell that. Anything that's not a complete set, Like anything that's really random, especially low level, I'll go ahead and sell. Level 13 I'll keep for now. But I'll only keep a couple stacks of level 8 stuff. There we go. That got me a decent chunk of silver. I think they removed the gold cap. Yeah, that to me seems... I don't know, just the restrictions with the auction house. That and the inventory are the most annoying things. Technically, I haven't run into the auction house one yet, but... I don't necessarily know that I think they should definitely be changed. I think there has to be something to, like, give players motivation to spend money. But even at this point, I don't quite feel the need to spend money just to help with the inventory. Did I take a travel? I did not. I want to be more lazy than this. Just going on autopilot, traveling myself. But hey, when I get on the steed, that'll give me a chance to pet the cat. Give Piper her scratches that she acts like she's been very deprived of this whole time.
Greetings, traveler.
Orange Gate. There we go. So as far as exploration goes, I think the biggest thing is we're going to need to go to the Silver Deep Mine. That will require the most travel. Not a ton, but just of where we have to travel, it's the most. You all know that this was actually a cat petting stream. I could at least have the game look a little bit more appealing while we're traveling. Kind of crazy with update 35 though. I've done one 3-man instance. And it wasn't bad, but I don't know. I just haven't been all too excited for the new instances. I think it's the content we are getting in update 35 is overshadowed by the Captain and Origin revamp, where most of my plans as far as update 35 goes have related to leveling Dordan and taking him to Goblin Town and doing the new Captain. I don't know which I'm ultimately most excited for, but that's like... When I think of update 35, even the... I was going to say combat, but it is true combat. The power revamps and rework of physical mastery. I think there's just other stuff that tends to be more exciting for me than the content, even though... Maybe just because I haven't done as much group content lately, it makes it sort of less exciting than if I were doing a lot of group content lately, but I feel like I've basically gotten my fill of all the endgame content LOTRO has now. But yeah, having new instances to run should be exciting. I also think that it doesn't help. This is not even necessarily directly related to me not having run group content as much lately, but my kin as a whole hasn't done quite as much lately. We've been picking things back up, but usually just one weekly event instead of we used to have 2 to 3 events a week. So Yeah, it's just something I haven't been doing much or even thinking much about lately. Even outside of, I've singled out the Warden and Captain revamp or the big revamps, but some decent changes to Hunter, which if I continue with this series could affect this character, of course. Oh, I should probably... Yeah, this is really bad. I have not been doing a good job with the virtues. I should have 0. This is why you don't want to forget about virtues. A valuable lesson for a new player, or even somebody who maybe doesn't pay attention to them as much, like me, and forgets about them. If you're doing deeds like this, and you're even just leveling, it's always good to keep up with which virtue you have earning. For an ideal character like this, I would have 0 charity, 0 discipline, I would have 7 valor, and technically confidence and determination would be my next 2 virtues, so I just basically lucked out on that. I honestly don't know why compassion got skipped over, but kind of good for me that it did. And we went to confidence and determination at least, but very bad there. Bad on my part. Very inefficient use of my virtue XP that I've been working so hard to get during the deeds that we've done. But deed-wise, we just have to slay some wolves and we're done. We'll have finished Era of the Wind in 2 solid play sessions, probably approaching 6 hours. Yep, 6 hours on this character, just about. With some of my AFK time, I think 6 hours would be reasonable. And I know when I first started this character, I was playing super slow because of just the new player roleplay again. And the crafting downtime, I think you could go through Era of the Wind, get all the stuff that I've done a whole lot quicker. But yeah. And yeah, Andrew, if you are running more for endgame and want the fidelity, that would pretty much be the one. And that's for anybody curious, that's because determination is basically inefficient with stats. And the reason is main stats are not efficient to actually benefiting your character, because from the main stats, what they actually give you is secondary stats. And because the secondary stats are what matters, you want to pay attention to like how agility would impact the secondary stats and factor that into how powerful the virtue is. And because the main stats are inefficient at giving you secondary stats, at least the way they scale in the game, typically those virtues are less valuable. But if you're looking for pure DPS, then determination is obviously the pretty much only other option for you. And of course, loyalty. For anybody that might have missed this, it's just good all-around virtue with the vitality, mainly.
What can I do for you?
It's my favorite virtue for every single character I make, so it's always the first one I go with. Okay, so you actually do get 45 vault spaces. You can add space. So there's honestly not much limitation-wise with this. I can go ahead and put some processed crafting materials in here. I'll probably not put new stuff that I'll get, but anything processed I might as well put in here, and anything else I want to keep. But there we go. That actually, you know, that frees up 4 spaces. These light hides are different, so I'll put them in. That frees up 5 spaces. But that's good to know, you can do that. And now we are on to the wolves. That was a mistake looking at her. She was so calm there, giving herself the bath, but because I looked at her, she's gotta get the attention now. If you give a cat a tiny bit of attention, she'll just want a whole lot of attention. Yeah, Andrew, I do think with the Captain revamp, they should be a lot better to level damage-wise. And that's based on my relatively... Hopefully I don't mess up this guy's questing. What level are they? Oh, 79. Now I'm in a rush to get kills before they can one-shot things. Quick shot devastates for 133 with this character. I'm facing mobs with very low defense, and being that they're 8 to 9 levels lower than me, it's pretty much how it should be. If I were really geared up, there's actually the potential I could do this much damage to on-level mobs. Oh wow, in solo stance, some captains are out DPSing hunters. That is actually quite crazy. I like that it's viable, but... Target not in line of sight. I guess these flowers block line of sight. But yeah, that might be a little bit excessive. I did think overall, though, that the new captain was fairly fun. But, well, see, I say blue line, or was about to say blue line, but as I talked about in my class video, it's some of the flavor that it lost. Makes it a bit less exciting to play. But the actual gameplay, I think, is still pretty decent. Oh, resetting Grave Wound. You can... Oh, yeah, I remember that being a thing. I don't think I got around to playing with that much, but you can reset Grave Wound. And now the bleed stack, so I guess getting a lot of bleed damage, which is kind of odd. At least I find it kind of odd, but... Yeah, I wonder how that will change between this last beta and release. This is why it's a good spot, but it's not perfect. Oh, they're doing the Spring Festival, that makes sense. But yeah, just waiting for wolves to spawn, basically. We can go north. There are some more wolves there. I can also start heading back east. The real question is, can I get 6 wolves? Because ideally I'll get to, like, Kellendam, get myself set up to travel to Bree next time we play this character. Assuming I keep the series going. I think at this point I'd like to. I know initially, like, when I was generally planning out what I was going to do with this account, it was just going to be a one-time play session. Yeah, this might be a bit far east. I could go north, but I'm feeling lazy. 400 ticks of Grave Wound over 3 minutes. So that's like over 2 ticks a second. That's crazy. That's some, like, if I envisioned an ideal burglar to me and just the way their bleeds would go, it'd probably be a very rapid pulsing bleed. Doing 2 ticks of bleeds a second. That sounds like a burglar thing to me, basically. I think currently Cunning Attack would be every 2 seconds, so it is relatively fast-paced for LOTRO. Although there are now a number of bleeds that are 1 per second pulses. What would that be, like 2-ish left? Yes, 2. There's 1. There's 2. There we go. All that stuff I just got. All that Virtue XP I just got to Valor. 6 levels worth. Thanks to those deeds. And there we are. We are done with Deeds of Era Lewin. Final LOTRO points count for this character is going to be 145. I don't consider that to be bad. Again, I'm at a point in the game, just thinking overall free-to-play experience, yada yada, that I'd just be saving these LOTRO points, especially considering you get writing. It could be worth, I think, spending 95 LOTRO points on writing before you could get it for free. But now that, like, you get it free, no need to do that. And yeah, otherwise there's content would be what I would tend to save towards. Now for inventory spaces, I am curious, maybe the better way is just to open the LOTRO store through the bag. It's 325 LOTRO points for 5 inventory slots. I would not consider that worth it right now. You could grind the LOTRO points just for that if you really want more inventory space. Like, it's an option people could do, but I don't think that'd be a great value of LOTRO points. Something I don't even consider because on my main account I of course have like all the slots unlocked. I get whatever extra from VIP, all that sort of stuff.
What do you need?
That is true though. That's a good point, Voyage Ranger, that those slots are account wide. So if you play a lot and want more inventory space on all your characters, that is a good option. I will also point out while we're on it that in general, yeah, let's go ahead and travel to Westbury. I want to get out of here. In general, account-wide LOTRO store purchases I find to be a whole lot more valuable, but that is as somebody who plays a lot of vaults. Like the account-wide Journeyman writing, even though you get the regular writing free on all your characters now, I still think that that's actually a pretty good value purchase.
How can I be of service?
But one last thing to check before we completely finish up is what the deal with the auction house is.
What can I do for you?
You discovered auction hall. You can buy 0 out of 0, 25 available per purchase. So that is true. The LOTRO wiki and all that is up to date. It's only 95 LOTRO points though. I think that's what they commented. But yeah, it's relatively cheap. If you really do want to post auctions, 95 just to get 5 slots might not be too bad. But at this point, I am not going to do that. Now, what I am curious is, can I buy stuff on the auction house? So I have 587 silver. And, oh, there's a level 18 bow. I was hoping to get a bow. 20 silver for this dagger. That's actually like that's a steal. It's not even kin only. Whoever Shawl is, they should increase their prices. Although it's like nice that it's that cheap, but it seems overly cheap. But yeah, if I wanted a bow for the future, let's just test it. 70 silver. It does look like you can buy. There's a mailbox here, which I actually have a lot of mail. Oh, you do actually get the gift stuff in the mail still. Okay, I thought that might have been a VIP thing. Class quest. Yikes. But there we go. Got me a level 18 bow. Yeah, that is true. New players probably want to immediately know how to work the auction house, especially if you haven't played a game with an auction house before, but I think, like, let's just do something quick that I actually have. Logs of rowan wood. I could probably put those up for a decent bit of gold, maybe 3.7 to start. They could be worth more for all I know. Nowadays, people pay a lot for that stuff. Light hides probably aren't the most. Maybe I'd do like 9.1 gold just to try. See, 50 chunks of copper ore is listed for 10 gold. So you can get quite a bit of gold on the auction house. Yeah, $30 for 3 months of VIP is not that bad. You also do get some permanent benefits. I don't think as much as you used to. I'm honestly not 100% up to date on what the permanent benefits are. I think inventory space, I don't know if you only have the inventory space when you are VIP, but I thought you got extra inventory space when you're VIP. Not entirely sure on that, to be honest, but that's something potential that you'd get from that. Also, just during that time, you have all the VIP benefits, which is great. But yeah, if you, Dooman MacGruber, if you are interested in trying to make some gold or buy some stuff, like I got a level 18 weapon, then perhaps check out the auction house. You would have to unlock that though if you're free to play. 95 LOTRO points for 5 slots, so you could post 5 auctions. Like if I again did my copper ore, could probably get a couple gold from that, maybe even more. Each scrap of text, I could put that up for like 24 gold and hope it sells. Even worn tablet fragments, like 10 of those for gold. If you're premium, I think you get 5 slots by default, so you would already be able to post some stuff. And see, this is one of those things, just to reiterate a little bit, as a long-time subscriber, this is just something I'm used to not having to worry about with the auction house and being able to post. So yeah, it's good to see this perspective. I'm actually really happy with starting this account and seeing some of the limitations of free to play, the stuff you can do, the lack of limitations with some of the things with free to play, and all that sort of stuff that I just like forget about, don't run into, and yeah. Anyway, on that note, it is a good point for me to get wrapped up with this stream. I feel like we made some great progress on this character. I do hope to be back and maybe keep it up about monthly. I won't have like a tight schedule with this. Also, end of poll, I kind of forgot that was even up there, but almost half the people that at least answered the poll are VIP. A little bit under a third are premium, which is no subscription but have spent money. And finally, a little over a fifth are free to play. And yeah, nowadays with VIP, you get everything but the latest expansion and mini expansion included in it, which is nice. Very nice, actually, compared to how it used to be. But yeah, with that, it's time for me to go, but we made it to Bree. So yeah, excited to see where this character goes in the future. Maybe it'll be a way for me to test out, not too in depth, but I don't know, extra motivation, checking out the power revamp and the hunter update, see how it impacts this character. I have run into a little bit of power issues, but not that much. I think it was like one time I really noticed it, maybe 2 times when we were doing some big AoEs. But yeah, with that, I hope you all did enjoy the stream and are enjoying this different experience that I am trying. And if you are, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone.